I want to welcome some friends from the Unit Trust Corporation, our neighbors literally next door, and they're here this morning to discuss retirement, more so planning for retirement. We welcome from the Unit Trust Corporation, Shazeema Mohammed-Dass, the sales officer at the Advisory Services Department under the UTC umbrella. That's Shazeema right there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, morning. And she's joined by her colleague, Rodney Boodram, Senior Financial Advisor, also part of the Advisory Services Department. Rodney, good morning.
Morning, morning, Mr. Williams.
Indeed, I want to ask, because we are talking here retirement, very important conversation. As a matter of fact, the discourse started long before we start live. As they come in, we started, engage, because it's something that is very important to me. And when we consider retirement, why it is important to plan it out from all now and to make it a top priority?
Well, Jason, retirement planning, as you said, is extremely important and should be made a priority simply because we are all going to retire at some point in time in our lives. And when that time comes, we want to be able to be fully prepared for whatever may come our way. We like to say at UTC, we want to be able to retire rich. And what does that mean? Retire in comfort and happiness. Yeah. And have a fulfilling retirement without financial burdens.
Let me ask Rodney, and I want you to weigh in here because
sure.
There are misconceptions, I'm sure. I'm sure you always get certain questions, misconceptions about retirement, and even certain sectors, certain people, I guess because of their line of work and how they curate their journey, in the terms of their career, it's like almost behind their mind, not top of mind at all. What are some of the greatest misconceptions about retirement planning?
Well, some of the greatest misconceptions, the first one that normally you hear most people say, especially the young people, retirement is far off. I have a lot of time yet. So it's not a priority, as my colleague just said. You tend to do everything else in life before there. Another misconception is, my kids will take care of me at retirement.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something that, so, yes, you would have invested your time and effort into your kids. But what I normally like to say is, you want your picture at retirement to have options. And although you're saying that, and yes, your kids will take care of you, but saving the money creates more options, more opportunities for you.
When actually is the right time? Because I like the point you brought up about, hey, I have time, especially folks who have now started their career, now started their journey now start retirement, or you could tell them about retirement, but then that might actually be the best time. When should one really start?
You should really start from your very first paycheck.
Wow.
Yeah.
From the time you're, from first ball. You're going to end the first ball at one time.
That's when you should really start. I know that's not the reality. We know that. However, that's when you should start. And let me tell you why. Let's say when you're at the age 20, right, you have approximately 480 paychecks available to you that you can utilize to start contributing towards your retirement. Right? As you get older, that number of paycheck lessens. At 20, you have less expenses as well. So at that age, you're probably still living at home with your parents. You don't have a mortgage. You don't have rent to pay. Right? You're probably contributing towards the household bills, but it's not your entire bill. Right? You don't have children. Right? So you don't have to now start saving towards your children's education. So you now have more of a disposable income that is available to you that you can utilize to start contributing towards your retirement, as compared to someone who's in their 40s or 50s. So if you're at 50 and you're now looking to start your retirement, you have only 120 paychecks that is available to you. Now, that is significantly, that's a big difference in the number.
Compared to the 480 that you mentioned.
Correct, yeah. So now what happens is you need to now start contributing more than if you would have started when you were 20. Your contribution needs to be greater, right? And then that puts a pressure on you because you have life happening. You have your mortgage, you have your children's education, you have other living expenses. Right? And you will now need to find the income to contribute towards your retirement at that age.
So I'm trying to think about it now. Let's say, okay, I've made up my mind. Going to put the planning in place. I'm going to do the retirement. Well, I can't say going to do it. You will retire at some point. Walk me through the first thing to plan out, Rodney. I mean, we just heard some details there, but probably give us some figures how we should really curate and plan this out in a structured manner.
So two things normally I like to focus on when you're looking at planning. One is budgeting. We all get a salary when the month comes. Regardless how much it is, our big ticket items are the only thing we really budget for. But when you look at the end of the month, you have those little things is where the money disappears. And by planning for your retirement, and what we normally try to say at Advisory Services, let your retirement be one of those expenses in your budget. So that way it becomes second nature. So as my colleague just said, starting early. If you had put that earlier in your career and you started your career with your first paycheck as an expense, it will become second nature saving towards your retirement.
Understood.
The second thing you have to look at is the picture you want at retirement. So let's say, Mr. Williams, you're looking at your retirement picture. Everything will go up, expenses will go up, you have your pension you're looking at. Let's use the doubles as an example. And that drives that point home where years ago, how much a doubles used to be?
In primary school, when I went to Giuseppe Prep, going home to come out to traveling, $1.
$1. Today is around $5, $6.
Yeah.
That's 600% increase. At retirement, wouldn't you like to afford a doubles?
Yeah, of course.
So definitely, that simple little item drives the point home of the importance in saving for retirement, because you want your lifestyle, you want to enjoy every aspect of your lifestyle at retirement.
How do you, and again, let's talk about the numbers. When we consider your balance, savings for retirement, how does that help in terms of other goals? Could you use that? Could you tap into that? Is that going to be fixed for retirement? Walk us through, let's say emergency comes along and you say, boy, I might have a touch in the retirement pool.
Yeah.
Just walk us through all the options there and how does one really manage it going forward.
Right, so which is the reality of it, right? We have persons where you have some sort of medical emergency and you don't have sufficient funds. You may want to tap into retirement, but that is not something that you should be looking at. We would normally encourage you to probably look at taking out critical illness, right? Making sure that you are covered for such emergencies. So it's not just having a retirement plan, but you also need to look at what are your other options that is available to you, because you can invest for your children's education. Your children also have the option of even getting a scholarship, but there's no scholarship towards retirement.
Yeah.
There's no way when you save towards your retirement, you touch that funds, you're going to be able to replace those funds. So the back of your mind, you're going to say, yes, no, later down I'll be able to replace it. But once you use that, it's difficult.
And I had to ask because, sometimes, and as a financial advisor, you will guide people accordingly and probably show them another financial product to help in their time of need. Because really and truly, retirement should be for that. Your retirement funds to make sure that you could live a comfortable, sustained lifestyle when you've done with formal work. How do folks get in touch? How do they even start the process? What do they need to come with documents-wise to start this retirement plan with the UTC?
Well, we have 3 options that we normally offer our clients. So it's having that discussion with you, first of all, seeing which bucket you fit into and what suits your goals and opportunities. But the documents are just 2 forms of ID, a utility bill, and proof of income is what you normally have to work with. It's very easy. It's just 2 forms, basically, 2 forms to fill out to get that account opened.
Fantastic.
And what I want to add there, it's not expensive to start saving towards your retirement. You can start your retirement journey with just a minimum of $100. $100. And then you contribute as you go along. And as life happens, you get your salary increase, you increase your contributions.
Correct. Step it up.
Correct.
Yeah. I won't lie, I must say, it's been a really impactful conversation. And I know many looking on, it's striking that particular chord right there in that vein of planning for down the road. As you rightfully said, some folks, when you start working, it's not top of mind. But
Correct.
if you put it top of mind and you're able to plan it out from early, you're in a much better place. A matter of fact, you can retire early.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could jump out early, you know.
Yes.
Right.
If things on a level. So yeah, and then you work at your own pace and at your own time.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on and for giving us some details, Shazeema and Rodney from the Unit Trust Corporation again. Their department is the Advisory Services Department under the umbrella of the UTC. We take a pause. We come back. See you soon.